Okay, in this video I want to talk about the male reproductive system. Okay, but before that I want to just quickly do a recap on how reproduction happens. So you've got a male here, you have a female, they reproduce, okay? Male's got sperm, female's got an egg. The sperm fertilizes the egg, fertilization happens. Okay, these are gametes, by the way, these are called sex cells. So the sex cells, gametes, another word for sex cells. Sex cell for the female is the egg, sex cell for the male is the sperm. Fertilization happens and you get what's called a zygote. Okay, it's basically a clump of cells together. It's not a baby yet, it's just called a zygote. That's step one in the baby development. Step two, you get an embryo. Okay, you start to get a little clump, a little clot happening. It's called an embryo. Step three, you get a fetus. This is what the actual baby forming now. And then out comes the baby. So that is a diagram showing reproduction. Let me now talk about the different parts of the male reproductive system. Now, I do apologize. There's a lot of definitions you've got to know. This is biology after all. There's a lot of things to memorize, but if you draw diagrams, I guess it'll help. So what I'll be doing is first drawing up a table, okay? And then I'll show on the diagram how this works, okay? So please bear with me. So you've got the body part here, body part, and you have the function or the description, okay? Let me start off with the penis. Penis is basically the male sex organ. That's what you use during intercourse. That's the penis. The testicles, okay, for short. These secrete the male hormone called testosterone. They secrete male hormone testosterone. Okay, they're two ball-like structures, look like balls. Actually, that's why they call them balls, right? Scrotum. Okay, scrotum is basically a sac that contains the testes, right? It's the cover. So you can think of it as this, okay, the big sac, the testes inside. Okay, the penis comes out here. There's what's called the vas deferens. Okay, each testes is connected to the urethra by a sperm duct called a vas deferens. It's basically like a tube. So it's a tube which connects testes to urethra. Yeah, that comes out of the bladder. Cowper's gland. I don't know where they get these names from. Okay, they're just glands. It's a major gland to provide fluid for the sperm. Okay, the sperm needs something to flow through, right? Think of tadpoles in a pond. The tadpoles need water to flow through the pond, right? Same thing here. Okay, it gives fluid to these little boys. You got the prostate gland. Okay, same thing as the Cowper's gland. It's a major gland to provide fluid to the sperm. All right, the urethra. It's a tube that runs along the length of the penis, right? So a tube that runs along penis. So here's the penis, here's the urethra. Okay, that's where the urine comes out too. Urine and sperm. You've got the epididymis. Okay, these are a group of coiled tubes. A group of coiled tubes where sperm is located. And I'll show you this on the diagram later. Okay, it's basically in a part of the testes. Okay, it's in part of the testes. Okay, somewhere in the testes. You have what's called the seminal vesicle. Okay, this is once again a major gland to provide provide fluid to the sperm, right? And last one is sperm, okay, produced by the two testes. This is a gamete, a sex cell, okay? Here are the components that you should try and commit to memory. I know there's a lot. Let me now draw a diagram to try and break it down for you. Okay, this might be a bit messy, so I do apologise. I'll try and do my very best to make it as neat as possible. Okay, now here's the female, the male reproductive system. Okay, you've got the kidneys here. Okay, this is below the waist, right? Actually, around the waist region. You can imagine that this is being near the waist region. You've got the bladder. So kidneys are here. You've got the bladder here, this big ball here. Let me draw scrotum and the testes. Okay. Kidneys are connected to the bladder, obviously. Here are the testes. Okay. It's going to be a bit complicated. I do apologize. Okay. This thing here is the penis, this tube here. These two balls are the testicles. The urethra is this tube here that runs along the penis, remember? Urethra. The testes have like little things deposited on them, like little covers. Okay, these are called epididymis. Okay, these sacs, if you wish. Okay, they're not really sacs, they're like covers. Starting to get a bit messy, I do apologize, okay? And the epididymis basically goes all the way up, all the way around, and goes through here. Okay. Now, what the tube that connects goes to the epididymis is called the sperm duct. Okay, the sperm duct. This is the vas deferens. Okay, as I mentioned before, it's basically a tube. I should mention ureter, the tube connecting the kidneys to the bladder. Okay, going off the sperm duct, the vas deferens, you have little tree-like structures. Okay, these are called the seminal vesicles. Okay, these are the major glands that produce fluid, right? They produce fluid for sperm swimming. And they're the basic components. So let me explain what happens here. Now, sperm is produced by the two testes, right? Okay. The testes are located in a sac called the scrotum. Sorry, I should have written that down. The scrotum is a sac that holds the testes in. Basically keeps the testes cooler than normal body temperature. Okay, they hang outside the body, as you know. And that cooler body temperature, as you know, increases the rate of sperm production. Okay, and the testes also secrete the male hormone testosterone, as I mentioned. Now, most of each testes is made up of a tiny cord-like tubes called the seminiferous tubules. You didn't really need to know that, but I just threw that in. Okay, they're made up of little tiny tubes, and these and the sperm is formed in these tubes daily. Okay, in these tubes here, in the testes. And the sperm move around along the tubes by cilia. Okay, these are little hair-like structures. They move along, and the sperm is stored in another part of the testes called the epididymis, as I mentioned here. These little covers. Okay, and it's here that they become fully developed and they start to swim in the epididymis. Okay, and each of the testes is connected to the urethra, as I mentioned, via the sperm duct called the vas deferens. These tubes here. Okay, they're connected to the urethra. The urethra is a tube, remember, that runs along the length of the penis, right? It also connects to the bladder, used to empty urine. Now, as the sperm travel through, from the sperm duct to the penis, okay, from there to the penis, they pass by glands, okay, the glands that provide more fluid to the mixture so they can swim. The prostate gland, which should be up here somewhere. I don't know why I didn't actually draw this. Prostate gland is actually up here somewhere. Okay, this is actually in your booklet. I'm not going to draw it; it'll get too messy. The seminal vesicles, the tree-like branches, and the Cowper's gland. Okay, which is somewhere behind the bladder as well, somewhere near the bladder. You get a mixture of fluid called semen that comes out through this tube here, urethra, and it's also worth mentioning that you can't have both urine and semen passing through the urethra at once. It's not possible. Okay, that's the male reproductive system in a nutshell.